Was the eastern part of North America Egypt? Was the eastern side of North America Egypt? No, it was not. And also possibly yes. So let me explain what I'm seeing. So this is a big discussion online, well, in our little tiny community that discusses this stuff. The assumption and the info that's getting passed around on social media is, saying that Egypt was in the eastern United States. However, I can say definitively after hundreds of hours of mapping that it most definitely was not in the eastern United States, at least during biblical times, during the times of Moses and also during the times of Jesus. The Bible very clearly lays out the relationship of Egypt to other locations within, like Judah. And it is very clear that that whole Grand Canyon region was Egypt. Also, there's massive, extensive amounts of archaeological finds backing this up. A lot of those have been hidden and suppressed. You have to really dig to find that info, but it is there. Everything from pyramid structures to sphinx structures to massive underground structures, relics, all sorts of things, giant bones, the whole 9 yards. You'll just have to go look it all up. However, I do think there was some sort of correlation between Egypt proper and that whole eastern region, Memphis, Tennessee, Cairo, Illinois, that whole area in there. And I have a couple theories based on just the information I have been gathering. One is the Bible does say that Egypt would be destroyed. That's prophesied in the Bible. It says specifically Memphis would be destroyed. It also says the land of Ammon and Damascus would be destroyed. And what we know about that is that destruction had to have happened after Jesus's time, because Jesus went to Egypt as an infant. The Apostle Paul went to Damascus. And if we look at that land in the kind of Utah region there that this is referencing, it does look like it was destroyed, right? I mean, it just looks like it was torched. We don't know what happened. But it appears that had to have happened less than 2,000 years ago. So one theory is Egypt relocated, right? They got destroyed and they relocated east of the Mississippi. And that's why we're finding also all these relics, archaeological finds, and different things in that region, and all these other connections people are making. It's also possible they were setting up a satellite community over there before the destruction of Egypt. I have come across some different archaeological finds, and I'm not going to stand on this yet because I need to really research it more, make sure I agree and thoroughly understand what I'm talking about. But just general overview, there are some relics that were supposedly found in the Grand Canyon during Kincaid's thing. And there were some relics that were found east of the Mississippi in that region. The name is eluding me where it was right now, but over there. And these relics clearly point to the existence of Joseph, as in Joseph in the Amazing Color Technique Dreamcoat, being in both places. And it talks about him, if I'm understanding correctly, and I don't know for sure, these are the pieces I'm collecting and I'm getting ready to really deep dive on. But it talks about him going to another land to find more fertile land to farm. Basically setting up like Egypt 2.0. So either they all relocated after the destruction of Egypt, or they already had kind of a little second country going on. What is the word for that? They had like another district, right? Or another province, something going on already over there. And so then they all just kind of moved that way over time, or after Egypt was destroyed, they all moved that way. But perhaps it was already there longer ago, and that's why we're finding very old things there as well. But it is very clear in Bible times where Egypt was, and it was not on the east side of the Mississippi. There is a connection there, however. So I think it's kind of a not either or, but both type of scenario, if that makes sense. So in that case, to go back to our original convo on this, yes, the Mississippi would be the Euphrates. It does not flow through Egypt, but the Colorado River would be the equivalent of the, I say, quote, Nile, and it would flow through Egypt. Oh, it's over here. Sorry, it's not showing on the map. But perhaps Egypt relocated or migrated east to the Euphrates. That was probably all clear as mud, but hopefully it made a little bit of sense.